So, listen, students, today's topic is exception handling. So, what is exception handling? Before we go inside what is exception handling, you need to know what is exception. Exception is an abnormal condition that occurs during the runtime. Okay, it is like an error. Okay, that is an exception. So, what you have to do is you have to handle those exceptions. Like an example, like if a number is divided by zero is not defined, right? So in your program, if you have got that kind of a code, a number is divided by zero, that is wrong. If an element in an array is out of the index means like if there are five, if the size of an array is five, and you are trying to store the element at seventh position, so that is again an error. Okay, so that is an so so that is an exception that should be handled. So for that one, there are 5 keywords in Java to handle the exceptions that are try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. Okay, few of them you all know this. Few keywords like try, catch, throw, sorry, try, catch, and finally. But apart from that, there are other two keywords, throw and throws. You will see in this one, in this chapter, what are those? But what is the purpose of those two keywords? Okay. So see here, students. You can see in the textbook also over here. What is an exception? It is an abnormal condition that arises in a code sequence at runtime. Okay. So not at compile time, at runtime it is mentioned. Okay. In other words, an exception is a runtime error. Okay. So in computer languages that do not support exception handling, error must be checked and handled manually. Okay. But whereas in Java, it is automatically Java's exception handling avoids these problems and in the process brings runtime error management into the object-oriented world. We will see how it brings that thing. Okay, that is with the help of the fundamentals. What are those fundamentals you will learn now? So you can see over here, Java's exception handling is managed via 5 keywords. They are try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. Its work is explained over here. Okay, I will explain all these things. After that, you can read, you will find it easy to understand. I will explain all these things over here with the syntax. This particular syntax is consisting of 3 keywords, try, catch, finally. Throw and throws is also there, that we will see afterwards. So now you see here, this is the general form of exception handling. You have to write your code, program code over here between the try block. Suppose if there is any error in the try block, it will be thrown from here and it will be caught by any of the catch statement which is matched over here. Suppose the error in this one, in this particular block is matched with exception type 1, so this catch will catch it. If that is not the catch to catch it, it will check with this one. Okay, like that. And after that, if it is caught and handled, it will be handled by catching the exception. After that, you can have finally block. What finally block will have is anything you can write in this. What is the purpose of finally is after or means if there is any error in try, it will be handled by catch. If there is no error, so there is no need to catch. But after that, finally is a block which will be executed. Okay, that fine, that is. Now, this is a small diagram. Try to remember, students, in exception types. Okay, all the exception types are the subclasses of one class, that is throwable, this one, and it has got 2 subclasses, exception and error. Okay, mostly in this particular in this chapter, what you will learn, what kind of exception you will learn is you will learn the subclasses of this exception, that is runtime exception. Okay, all of them comes under the subclass of runtime exception. Okay, you can see here throwable is at the top of the exception class hierarchy. See, this book is 9th edition. In the previous edition, like I guess like 7th edition, this diagram is not available. Okay, you can see from here in this edition, this diagram. So you see, this is the superclass throwable. All of them are the subclass of throwable. So you see here, immediately below throwable, there are two subclasses mentioned here. One is exception, the other one is, you can see, error. So the first one, which is exception, this class is used for exceptional conditions that user program should catch. Okay, this is also the class that you will subclass to create your own custom exceptions. Okay, so this is an important subclass of exception which is called as runtime exception. Okay, what kind of exception it will have? 2-3 exceptions you will see in this particular chapter. That is division by zero, array indexing. Apart from that, other exceptions are also there which you will learn. So now the first one is uncaught exception. This I will execute and I will show you. I've already copied this one in my computer, exe0. You can see here, this is the program. Okay. Let me open the command prompt. Now, students, please observe here. I'm going to compile the program. Java C space file name. What is the file name? You see here, exe0, that is .java. See, it has to get compiled. So you can observe it is compiled. See, students, the point to note down is at line number 3, there is a variable d which is initialized with 0. But at line number 4, you see a is initialized with 42 divided by 0. So 42 divided by d, that is 42 divided by 0. So you all are from mathematics background only, you know any number which is divided by 0 is undefined. So this is an error. Okay, so over here Java program is compiled, means that kind of error is not known at the compile time, but it will be known at the point of runtime. Means when you are going to execute this, like Java space file name, now you will able to see it will give you an error. I hope you all have understood. So this particular program has got an error which is thrown at the runtime. So this is only known as abnormal condition which has occurred at runtime. I hope you all have understood this. Another program, same thing you observe here, but before that, one more point to mention. Students, this is very important. What I'm saying over here now, you see here, it has mentioned exception in thread. Where exception in thread at main. So in the part of the program, in the main method, there is an exception, the one which I've highlighted now. After that, you see it is followed by what kind of error, that is Java lang dot arithmetic exception. Under arithmetic exception, what kind of error? That is divided by 0. So this it will show. It will give the complete information in which part of the program, main part, and also what kind of error, java.lang dot arithmetic exception. In arithmetic exception, what error, divided by 0. Then the next line you all observe at which line the program it is. See here. It is in exe main part, and that in which line? 4th line. So the Java runtime system will give you the information during the runtime. Complete information it will give. Okay, students. So for right now, till now, what you have to understand is what is an exception. An exception is an error only, or you can say it is an abnormal condition which will occur at the runtime. That is an exception. Then you can observe. You can understand with the second program also. This is the second program, exe0. I will open the program, exe1, sorry. Yeah, exe1 only, no? Yes, exe1. So compile this program also. provide the line numbers. Now you all observe here, students. I will compile the program first. So ex Java C space exe1.java. It is compiled. Again, you observe here at line number 4 there is an error. So at compile time it is not mentioning. It will mention at runtime. So that is an exception. But same program, but with different way I have written from the textbook. See, same message it is passing, but it is also giving the message from where to where it has occurred. Like in this program, exception has started from 7th line. So you can see exe1.subroutine from 7th line it will go to the 2nd line. It will call this one. Okay, inside this method called, where is the error? Where is the exception? It is at line number 4. So due to that, you can see the message at runtime at exe1.subroutine. You observe here which line? The 4th line. Okay, then after that, from line number 4, this line number 4 is a code of this particular method. No, this method has been called from where? From 7th line. So after that, from whom it was called from main method. So that also it will give the information. Okay, I mean to say where the error has occurred, that thing, and from where that error has been generated, due to what? Because of line 7. So it is giving you the line 7 also. From here the error. I hope you all have understood, students. Now what to do is, now you have seen what is an exception. After this, now you will be learning the fundamentals of exception handling. Okay. So now you will learn what is the purpose of try and catch. Okay, students. So this program is with the class exe2. I will open that with the notepad. These are the line numbers. Now students, you all observe this particular program with the first program here. What you can observe is this code is written inside the try block. Okay, and you observe at what line you will get an exception. You will get an exception at line number 6. So it will be thrown from the try block and it will be caught by this. Okay, and you have to observe with the line number 7 also. There is a print ln, some message which will be printed, which has to be printed, but it will not be printed. Why? You all observe. I will execute the program. See here. First compile the program exe2. It is compiled. Now you all can observe the output. What actually is happening over here? Move this over here. This over here. Okay. Now you all observe the output. As we have used a try catch in this particular program when compared with the first program. In the first program, this was the output. There was no try catch. Okay, you can see this line and this line, the one which I have marked, I have underlined. Okay, that was the error. But now, in this particular exe2, we have used the fundamentals of try, that is exception, try and catch we have used. So we are able to see a proper output which is handled. That is, exception is handled. So you see here, inside the main method, when you are executing the program, inside the try block, fifth line, D is initialized to 0. Okay, that is fine. But at line number 6, you can observe 42 divided by D means 42 divided by 0. So at this particular line number 6 is an error. So whenever an error occurs in try block, from there it will move to catch block by skipping the other lines. Like in this, at line number 6, there is an error. So it will skip the seventh line. Why? Seventh line is also part of try block. No, it has to print no, but it will not print. Okay, that is the concept of try and catch. If at any point, if there is an error, that will be thrown from there, and that will be thrown from there by skipping the lines, whatever is after that error. So from line number 6, it will go to the catch block. Inside the catch block, there is an arithmetic exception. There is an arithmetic exception class. So you can observe this. So this arithmetic exception is matched with this kind of an error. So this catch will catch it and it will print division by 0. Okay, students. So now, and you see here, the string is this one. It is displayed over here till here. Okay. But you observe here, this E is an object. So that E is this complete message, what you can see, java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. So this part is the information which you have got by this object. I'm repeating again, students, this is very important. This part, again, you will understand. Again, you have to understand with another concept, that is creating user defined exceptions. Okay, after completing this 90% of this chapter, the remaining 10 part of the exception handling chapter is, in that you have to write your kind of an exception. So in that you will see what is the purpose of this object. So for right now, you are please try to remember what is this E is. E is the information which is displayed over here. Java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. Okay. Now this is the another thing which is apart from try catch. It is not inside try catch. Okay. It is apart from try catch. If you don't write, no problem with this. Okay. So this is also displayed over here. I hope you all have understood. So now you see, students, what I'll do is, in this particular program, I will remove this E object and you all observe the output. I have to compile it again and I will run. You see, observe over here, division by 0. That ninth line has displayed. But due to there is no object E I have removed, you cannot see the information after the string message. There is no java.lang.arithmetic exception by 0. If at all, if you are going to include that E, then you will able to see the information also. This thing this is E. I hope you all have understood now this particular small program, how to handle the exception. I'm repeating again, students, whatever the program code is, you have to write it try block. If at any point try block error occurs, means the corresponding catch block, if it is matched, it will catch it. Catch means it will handle it. So the line number 6 has got error, it will be thrown from there and catch will catch it. So you all know 42 divided by 0 is one kind of error which is related to arithmetic only. So that is arithmetic exception. So that is being called by this class catch arithmetic exception. And inside this, there is some message which will be printed. That is what it is printing, some message that you have got an error which is handled, that is division by 0. And if you are going to include the object of arithmetic exception, that information also it will be displayed. I hope you all have understood. This is a simple program for exception handling, the first program. Okay, students. Then, yeah. Any students, any doubt, you can ask me. Then next, students. The next program under this try catch only, handle error. First, I will open the program I have already copied, and after that, I will explain you the output of this program. Okay, I will clear the screen here. I will compile it and then run. Compile. Is compiled. Now execute the program. See students over here. You can see the output over here 3 times. Okay, 3 times the output is because of this for loop. It has got the I value with 0 and it is tested with a condition 0 less than 3. So 0 less than 3, 1 less than 3, 2 less than 3. 3 times the for loop will be evaluated. Due to that, you are able to see 3 different outputs. Okay, fine. Now students, again I'm running. You can see this. The output again. Okay. Now you are able to see a different output. At one point of time, you see A is initialized with some value. See here arithmetic exception, and it has mentioned why arithmetic exception. The value of A is okay. Arithmetic exception at one point of time, and A is 0. Okay. Another time arithmetic exception A is 0. Another time arithmetic exception A is 0. Then for the next time you see A again arithmetic exception. Then the next time A has got some value and there is no error. Okay. And the third time there is an error again which is divided by 0. So different times you are able to see different outputs. You see here error. For I equal to 3 there is no error. Now why this is, I have explained in the last class about random class. I guess you remember this. See, in this one, A is equals to 0, B is equals to 0, C equals to 0. And at line number 6, you can see a random class object is there. Okay. So you can see it is imported also from the folder. You all have learned the concept of import. I guess you remember. I have explained you the programs of packages. What is the concept of package? Then after learning package, you have seen one program of import. Okay, what import will do? It will collect the entire data of a particular class which you are importing. Like here you are importing from line number 2 random class. So whatever the methods are there in random will be imported over here. So you can observe here at line number 6, that is an object, and after that you see for loop. For loop will be evaluated 3 times. That is fine. Now I equal to 0 we are going to see. So you all observe here what is happening at I equal to 0. I equal to 0. So B equals to some value. Okay. So students, let B equal to means B equal to R dot nextInt. So from our random class, that is R is an object to random class, from that it will invoke nextInt. Like mybox1 dot volume was there, no? So what mybox1 dot volume did means it will invoke the volume method of my box class. From there it will get the value of width, height, depth, product of width, height, depth it will get. Similarly, in a random class there is a method nextInt. So the purpose of nextInt is to generate some number. Suppose let B be some number like 0. Let B is 0. Okay. Then let C be some number like 100. Okay. Let C be 100. Now you all can observe at line number A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is 12,345 is divided by 0 by B is 0, which is divided by 100. So B by C, that is valid. 0 by 100 is 0. But after that, what is happening? 12,345 divided by 0 it will become. Okay. B by C is 0 by 100 is valid. That becomes 0 now. B by C is 0. But 12,345 is divided by 0, that is wrong. So now at this particular point of time, what will happen? The error will be thrown from 11th line. Okay, and it will be thrown and it will be caught by this arithmetic exception. Now due to that, you can see 13th line output over here, where suppose this is the output first time, and after that a is initialized to 0, then after that it is printing a equal to, so what is that? It is 0. Okay, but it will return back from 17th line to the increment value of I now is 1. Suppose I is 1. Now again what next int will do, it will generate the number, same thing. If either B or C becomes 0, no, again either of them, either B or C becomes 0, means again from A it will throw an error. That is from 11th line it will throw an error, and you will able to see same thing, you see. This one and this one. I hope you all have understood. Then again it will go back to for loop, I incremented, it will be 2. Then at line number 9 and 10, same thing. At any point of time, 9 and 10th line, that is B or C, any of them is 0, then same thing it will give the output. That is this and this. Okay, and you can observe here, again I executed, no, again I executed here. What happened? Same program again. Suppose A or B, B or C, any of them is 0, same output you will get, this line and this line. Okay, with I equal to 0. Suppose after that, after displaying a value, it will come back here. I is incremented, no, post incremented, it will become 1. So 1 less than 3, that is fine. Now at this particular point of time, suppose B is some value like 1, some value like 1, and C also some value like 2, whatever it might be, 2. So B equal to 12,345 divided by 1 by 2. Okay, what is 1 by 2? It will, that is some 0.5, or you say 1 by 2, that 2 will come here, some value. Means what I want to say is at 11th line there is no divided by 0, means 12,345 is not getting divided by 0, it is getting divided by something, some number, so that is valid. So at this particular time, at 11th, for I equal to 1, there is no error at 11th line. So this catch will not catch that. This catch will not catch that because there is no error. So after that, line number 16, it will display the value of A. Okay, if there is no error, it is displaying some value, whatever it will get from 11th line. So I hope you all have understood this. Okay, so this, the purpose of this is you have to remember it will generate numbers. Suppose this 2, that is r dot next int, any of them generates 0, no, any of them generate 0, 11th line you will get error. If both of them B and C is not generating 0, so A value at 11th line will not have error. Okay, and it will skip that, and whatever you get from 11th line, that is 12,345 divided by some number B by C, if that is a number, you will able to see this kind of message. That is, we will get a value A instead of getting error. Now you see after that, after displaying A value as 4,115, it will come back here. If this is, it will come to, see here, if any of them is having 0 value generated, B or C, it will throw an error. So due to that, you can see. I hope you all have understood this concept.